Hello everyone and welcome to another random bits and pieces segment from my brain, and today sit a while for we are playing some more Franchise Hockey Manager 6 as part of the Ottawa Senators. So we did have a very disappointing start to the season. I was really hoping we could make the playoffs. We're gonna need to turn it around real fast if we want for that to happen. We really didn't do too good in October with only 2 wins. We are dead last in the East. Uh, I'm looking at the schedule ahead of us in November. It is not going to be easy. We are playing a lot of really good teams, so we're gonna need to up our game a little bit. I've put a whole bunch of players on the trade block. We're gonna see what happens with that. And I did follow through with calling up Radek Bank prior to starting the video. I went and I checked his stats. I told myself, well, if he's having a good start to the season down in the AHL, I'm gonna call him up. And I checked, and he had 14 points in 10 games. So yeah, I'm sending Sergei Berezin down. He did absolutely nothing. So I'm trying to send him down. As you can see on the screen there, he has to go through waivers first. I won't be too sad if I lose him. It might very well happen. A team like Florida might be interested. They don't have that great of an offense. So that's pretty much where we're at. I did look at who's available on the trading block. The highest rated player was Maikov. I'm not gonna go and get him. He's pretty similar in ability to a lot of players I currently have. So really, calling Radek Bank up was pretty much the only move I made. I'm hoping that with the vast diversity of players that I've put on the trade block, that something is going to materialize through that, and maybe I can get a little bit better of an offense, because my goaltending has not been great so far this season. I think my defense is okay. It's not great, but I think it's okay, but we're really needing to score some goals here. Alright, so let's hope for a better month of November here. Of course, first team we're facing is the Detroit Red Wings, who lost only once in the entire month of October. They are 11-1. That's not gonna be easy. So let's take a look at them. Oh, look at that! They have a whole bunch of 5-star players and everything. So Andy Moog and Chris Osgood in net. Steve Chiasson. So yeah, you look at that. It's a really good team. It's definitely not going to be easy. They don't have any glaring weakness. They have good players at every position, at least decent players at every position. So let's see where our coach is gonna play Radek Bank here. On the fourth line. Well, he's still a 20-year-old. I guess that makes sense. He's playing with competent players. I mean, Jodial and Yakmanev are able to play. Yeah, I need a little bit more from Yashin and Alfredson as well. Deg as well. And Jamie Baker has been horrible in October. He had a whopping 1 point in 10 games, so I need for him to do a little bit more too. So I need a little bit more from pretty much everybody. Alright, so Detroit is sending Chris Osgood. We are sending Ron Extall. So let's get that going. And we won. Oh my god. We won 3-2. So we have not been winning a lot, but we've been beating good teams. We won against the New Jersey Devils as well. So yeah. Alright. I'll take a 3-2 win against Detroit. So we were outshot 38-27 in that game, but it's the end result that counts, right? So Zardy Zalewski was the first star with a goal and an assist. Steve Yzerman for Detroit with a goal and an assist got the second star, and Ron Extall pulled a pretty good game for us with 36 saves, and he's got the third star. So Zardy Zalewski on the power play from Lonely Loach, Radek Bonk from Yakmanev and Jody All. So Bonk scores in his first game up. He might never go back down. And then Andreas Dackel from Todd Warner and Zardy Zalewski. Alright, so a pretty good effort here. We've beat Detroit. I wasn't expecting that. And then the very next day we play Pittsburgh. So, I mean, I had that penciled as 2 losses to start the month. So we're already doing better than what I expected. Let's see. Rod Brydon is satisfied with my... I think he wants for us to lose. Whenever I've been playing better, he was not too happy, and I had a horrible start to the season, and Rod Brydon is satisfied. Either that or Rod Brydon is a crack addict. I don't know. So, alright. So Brunet should be back soon. I kind of need him. Not the greatest player to have ever played, but he usually plays on our top line. Decent two-way player. Probably doesn't belong on the first line, but I don't have much better. Alright, so we've seen Pittsburgh already. They beat us twice. Alright, so playing Bonk on the wing for that game. Oh, Brunet is back, but he's still kind of injured, so they've put him on the third line. I'm fine with that. Alright. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe I have too many players that are decent two-way players. Loach is a decent two-way player. Sillinger, Baker, Jody All, Dackel. Maybe I need a little bit... Well, I know that I need more offense, but... Alright, let's see what we get done here. So we're sending Guilbert, and we're facing Ken Reggett. And we lost 6-4, so I was kind of expecting to at least lose that one. Oh, that's why Brunet is hurt. He has a gastroenteritis. Well, that's not fun. Alright, so Pittsburgh beat us in the shots 38-21. So we got outshot. That's something that's been happening a little. Jagger is the first star with 3 assists. Yashin, 3 assists as well, second star. And Ulf Samuelsson got 2 assists. He's the third star. So Mario Lemieux was still hurt for that game, so we have not faced him at all this season in 3 games. We still lost all 3 games. So Alfredsson scored on the power play from Lonely Loach and Yashin. And then Alfredsson scored on the power play again from Yashin. So 2 power play goals for Alfie. That's pretty good. Lonely Loach on the power play again from Yashin. And then Jody L from Jamie Baker and Benoit Brunet. So our power play was pretty good. Oh, they did take... okay, yeah, there's Bob Airy that took a 10 minutes misconduct there. So that's going to inflate those numbers. But yeah, we made them pay for their penalties that they took. But the goaltending just wasn't there. Guilbert is not having a very good start to the season. He's actually one of the players that I've put on the trading block. I know that I said I was going to monitor Ron Extall for kind of that status, but Guilbert has been atrocious so far. So I know that I might not be getting a whole lot for a goaltender that's really struggling, but something's got to give. Anyway. Alright. Wayne Gretzky extends his point streak to 34 games with an assist against the Waiters. Wow. And that in that same game, Luc Robitaille got to 12 games with a point. So pretty good. Rob Blake is back from suspension. Dave King is upset at the media in Washington. There are some on him and on them. They are 5-6-1. They're definitely better than last year, but I guess they're tired of losing over there. As a streak of 8 games for Joe Nieuwendyk. Alright, those players are getting you. Benoit Brunet within sight of returning. Well, I mean, whenever he's done shitting his pants, he can come back, I guess. Alright. Well, gastroenteritis is more than just that. It's, throwing up and everything, too. I'm sure pretty much everybody has ever had that. If you haven't, well, knock on wood, because it's definitely not something that's fun to experience. Stéphane Morin and Greenlaw are on waivers. I am not picking them up. So Craig Simpson has reached 600 points. Pretty good. He had an assist against the Blackhawks. And Brunet is recovered. No more stomach problems for him. Oh, Wayne Gretzky's point streak ended at 34 games. He was held scoreless against the Bruins. So it's the Bruins that finally stopped Gretzky. But in that same game, Luc Robitaille got an assist, so his streak goes up to 13. Alright, next game is against the Leafs. So again, the Leafs are considered in the West. They should be moving east pretty soon. I didn't look any notes or anything like that, but from memory, it should be happening soon that they move to the Eastern Conference. I think it happens when Columbus gets their team. So that would be at the starts of the 2000s. I'm only using my memory here. Of course, you can correct me in the comments if you want. At that point, you have the luxury of pausing the video and go and check. I'm not exactly doing that right now. So, Jamie McLennan is being put on waivers. So, Jamie McLennan of TSN fame, of course. He does a lot of Sens coverage, so I'm pretty familiar with him. Joe Sakic extends his point streak to 12 games. Pretty good against the Sharks. He had a goal and an assist. And we are playing the Leafs. So not really a rivalry with them yet. So let's take a look here at their team. So they still have Grant Fuhr kicking in net with Vincent Riendo as the backup. So Fuhr is still a 2.5-star goaltender, so that's still decent. So they have Daniel Lefebvre, Jamie McCown, Richard Matvichuk, Thomas Kaberle, Dave Hallett, Dmitry Mironov, and Yannick Tremblay. So they have they have an okay defense. Those are decent players. Of course, Kaberle is young, so he's not developed yet. So he's only an alpha star. He's probably going to get better. Let's see, Wendell Clark. Oh, Wendell Clark is unfit to play. How dare you. Jenna X, Frederick Modine, Chris Simon, Sim Taylor, Todd Marchand, Brian Smolinski. Oh yeah, that's true. They have Doug Gilmore that fell down the stairs. So he's missing. So, okay. I think that their forwards kind of compares to ours for the most part. I think we're pretty similar teams. Our records are not exactly the same. They're 4-7-2, so they've been winning a little bit more than us. But I think that on paper our lineups are similar. All right, so let's go ahead and get that going. So they're sending Grant Fuhr, we're sending Ron Extall, so the veterans in net. And we won 2-1. Not a huge offensive game, but I don't care. I will take it. Oh, that was we dominated in that game. I mean, we were up for the shots 44-19. So quite a good performance there. Grant Fuhr got first star because he stopped 42 shots. So that's a pretty good game. The rest of his team just didn't show up. Wendell Clark got the second star with a goal, and then Yashin third star with a goal and an assist. So our goals, all the goals were scored in the second. So Yashin opened the scoring on the power play from McIver and Deg, and then Brunet scored from Yashin. So again, not a big offensive game. Well, at least as far as goals go, we did manage 44 shots on goal. So if it wasn't for Grant Fuhr, that game could have been like 5-1 or something. All right, what do we have here? Oh, Randy McKay got suspended. So former Ottawa Senator Randy McKay, who didn't do much for us, so he's suspended for 4 games. Memorable game for Bobby Olick, who had 4 assists against the Hawks in that same game. And Luc Robitaille's point streak ended at 13 games. He was held scoreless against the Canadiens. Alright, our next game is going to be against Boston, who have a very similar record to ours, which is a little bit surprising. Alright, so Joe Sakic extends his point streak to 13 games with 2 assists. That's pretty good. Greg Adams has 600 points in his career. He plays for the Canucks. So he had a goal and an assist against the Blues. Alright, so we are playing Boston. So we're actually ahead of them in the standing. So we've climbed a little bit. We're 11th now with 8 points. Of course, winning a couple games is gonna do that for us. Now we're playing the Bruins. They are not very good this year. They have a weakness at goaltending. How about you trade me Keith Primo for Guilbert? How would that sound for you? Alright, so Dunham and Snow and net. I mean, it's not the worst, it's also not the best. So that's funny that they have such a bad record. They have a pretty good team on paper. I mean, that D is pretty good. Oh, they signed Tommy Shodin. Rem Murray, Dave Reed, I mean... I look at that team on paper is pretty good. I'm sorry, but I don't see a lot of weaknesses, maybe in net. But yeah, there's a lot of really good players on that team, and I don't understand why they are struggling so much. Well, I don't care as long as I beat them. So let's go ahead and win this game here. They're sending Guard Snow. We're going with the veteran Ron Extol. And we won again. Alright, so November so far is looking a lot better than it did in October. Alright, so a 4-1 win against the Bruins. Nobody had any injuries. We outshot them 30-28. And Mike Sillinger was the first star with a goal and 2 assists. Lonnie Loach, a goal and an assist, was the second star. And Alexander Deg scored and got the third star, scored 1 goal. So let's see here. So Boston opened the scoring on the power play. Looks like... Oh, it was expiring too. Like, if you look here, Ville Peltonen took a penalty 47 seconds in. And they scored at 2:47. So they scored right when the penalty was expiring. Alright, so for us, Kelly Johansson scored from Lonnie Loach and Mike Sillinger. Then Sillinger from Peltonen and Jodiel. Then Lonnie Loach from Mike Sillinger. And Alexander Deg from Kelly Johansson and Roman Amerlik. Alright. Pretty good game. Again, with the poor attendance, I'm a little bit at a loss at that point, and I mentioned it in the other video. I'm not sure what to do, short of bringing a superstar in, and that's gonna cost me everything. So I'm not gonna do that. All right, Johnny Van Dyke, his streak ended at 8 games. Oh, okay. So he only had a goal against the Blues, so his streak ended. Joe Sakic's point streak ended at 13 games against the Canadiens. Wow, the Canadiens are pretty good at stopping streaks. So Larry Murphy played in 1,250 games. He's 35, so he still has a few good years ahead of him. And Todd Bertuzzi got suspended for 1 game. Of course, Bertuzzi playing for the Islanders. If you followed hockey back in the 90s and the 2000s, of course, Bertuzzi was more known for being a Vancouver Canuck. He also might be more known for his participation into the ending of the career of Steve Moore. So, yep. All right, we are playing the Blackhawks. The Blackhawks are 6-9-2, so not a really good start to the season. Of course, they had Ed Belfour hurt, and they lost Jeremy Roenick as well. So that's gonna hurt them. Looks like Roenick is back though. Belfour too. So of course, their good players are back to play against us. But not that great of a team. I mean, of course, you have Chris Chelios, that's, rock solid. Roenick is really good. Belfour is really good. But if you look at the rest, there's a few holes in that lineup. Oh, DJ Smith. That's where he's with the Blackhawks in my universe. He's actually playing, too. Alright, they can still beat us, even if I'm not overly impressed with their team. I mean, my team is not overly impressive either, so... Alright, let's get a win. Oh, we're sending Guilbert, that's struggling. We're facing Bill Ranford. It's a tie. Okay, I'll take a tie. 3-3. So we just tied against the Blackhawks. Nobody had any injuries. Oh, looks like we peppered them. 47 shots to 29. So we really outshot them and everything. So it looks like we played a pretty solid game. Steve Larmer is the first star with 2 assists. Alexander Daigle, again, with the star, second star, a goal and an assist. And then Brent Sutter with a goal is the third star. So paired juice on the power play from Radek Bunk and Alexander Daigle. So Bunk is being used on the power play. I like that. So played on the 4th line, but with some power play time. That sounds right. Alexander Daigle from Peltonen and Zari Zalewski. Yakmenev from Andreas Dackl and Mike Sininger. Alright, so next game is going to be at home against the Edmonton Oilers, who are also struggling. Alright, Todd Bertuzzi is back from suspension. Alright, and we are playing the Edmonton Oilers. So the Oilers are 5-12-1. So a very similar record to us, except that they played 3 more games and lost them all. Okay. Ooh. So if you remember, the Oilers did pretty good in the playoffs for a couple of years and everything, but if you look at that lineup there's not a lot of very impressive players there. Yeah, there's... Oh, they signed Trent McCleary, who was on... when you start the game as the Sens, he's on your roster. So Trent McCleary, when he was playing for Montreal in real life, blocked a shot. I think it was from Chris Therien of Philadelphia. I'm not 100% sure if it was Chris Therien. I'm pretty sure it was him. He took a shot in the throat, actually, and it fractured his larynx, and they rushed him to the hospital in an ambulance and everything. And the story with that is they said that if the ambulance would have hit just one red light, Trent McCleary would have died. Like, that was that close for him. Of course, he never played again after that. He took a slap shot in the throat. So, just a little bit of trivia in case you never heard about that. So, it was pretty scary to see, actually. Maybe not as scary as the Clint Malarchuk skate cut to the throat, but it was still pretty scary. Slap shot in the throat is nothing to make fun of. All right, so yeah, I can see why they have that kind of record. They have a couple decent players, but overall the team is not that solid. So I'm hoping we can win this. So Ron Extol in net for us, Roman Turek in net for them. And we won 2-1. Again, low scoring affair. If that gives me wins, I'll take it. Alright, 2-1 win. Shots were even, 30-30. So that looks alright there. Norm McIver was the first star with an assist. Shane Corson was the second star with an assist as well. And Benoit Brunet, third star with a goal. So Kelly Johansson scored on the power play from Daniel Alfredsson and Ville Peltonen. And then Brunet from Deg and McIver. So there were a lot of penalties in that first period there. Alright, Steve Yzerman extends his goal streak to 5 games with a goal and an assist against the Avalanche. And that was 8 straight games with an assist. Alright, no miss time for Boston's Murphy. So Gordon Murphy is not being suspended in Boston. And Ron Wilson has played in 1,000 games. He's with the Blues. He's 40 years old. He's probably going to retire soon. Maybe not. Who knows? Alright, so we're playing the Blackhawks again. So we tied against them 3-3 just a week ago. So we're not going to look at them. We just look at their roster there. Playing at home against the Blackhawks. Oh, they're sending Ed Belfour this time, and we're sending Ron Extol. Ooh, and we won 6-1 too. So pretty good game here. We haven't put a sixer in quite a while. Alright, so we outshot them 47-20, so pretty good game all around there. Loney Loach had a hat trick. He was a first star, 3 goals. Todd Warner, second star with a goal and 2 assists. And Andreas Deckel, second star with a goal and an assist as well. Alright, so it looks like Steve Larmer opened the scoring. And then it was all us after that. So we have Loney Loach from Deg and Kelly Johansson. Loney Loach on the power play from Zalapski and Alfredsson. Andreas Deckel from Jamie Baker and Todd Warner. Then Todd Warner from Zardy Zalewski and Alexei Yashin. Loney Loach on the power play from Zardy Zalewski and Alexei Yashin. And Mike Sillinger from Andreas Deckel and Todd Warner. So, alright, so Zalewski had 3 assists. That's also a pretty good game. There was no stopping Lonnie Loach. Yep, we just saw that, a hat-trick. Randy Mackey is back from suspension in Chicago. Alright. Next game is against the Islanders in Long Island. Steve Yzerman extends his goal streak to 6 games with a goal against the Sharks. His assist streak ended at 8 games, but his point streak is still alive. Big game for Zygmunt Palffy. He had 3 goals, so a hat-trick against the Florida Panthers. So he had a hat-trick one day before playing against us. So Palffy had a hat-trick before playing against us, and we have Lonnie Loach who had a hat-trick as well on that same night, and now they're facing each other, and we have identical records. And look at that. If you look on the right here, I've climbed the standings into 8th position, so I am currently in the playoff picture. I also have played less games than a few teams ahead of me, but it's really close. That game is pretty important, even if it's still only in November. I have an identical record to the Islanders. For some reason, they're ranked 10th, and I'm 8th, so yeah, pretty important game here. So we've played the Islanders already, so we've seen their lineup. Alright. Let's go ahead and let's get them. We're sending Giebag in net. They're sending Tommy Salo, so we're going with the goalie that's struggling. That's 2 games in 2 nights, so I guess it kind of makes sense. And we lost 4-3, so that was an important game, and we didn't pull through on that one. Alright, they outshot us 30-24. Rob Brown was the first star with a goal and an assist. Jody Hull for us was the second star with 2 goals, and Brett Lindros was the third star with an assist. So Jody Hull from Robert Zvela. Daniel Alfredson from Zalapsky and Dackel, and Jody Hull short-handed from Kelly Johansson, but that was too little too late. Alright. So with that loss, we slipped to 9th. So we're not that far behind. If you look all the way up to the Sabres, we're only 3 points behind. So if we can pull a pretty decent month of December as well, we might position ourselves neatly, but we need to win with consistency. And we need to stop dropping games like the game against the Islanders. So our next game is going to be at home against the Devils. Actually, today is December 29th, and in real life, the Sens are hosting the Devils today at 5 Eastern Time. Ooh, is that Ray Bourque that helped a friend move and got hurt? Sure is. Well, Ray Bourque is hurt for 2 weeks. Alright, oh, Scott Thornton got something there, and he's hurt for 10 days. Alright, he's going to be gone for 10 days, so I think I'm going to put him on the injured list and call somebody up. That's long enough of a time to make a difference, so let's put him on the injury list, and then let's see who's doing alright in the minors. Matthias Johansson, 1 point in 14 games. Wow. I don't think I'm calling you back up. Per Svartvedt, 8 points in 14 games. That's a little bit more like it. And Washburn, 7 points in 16 games. Yeah, I think I'm going to get Svartvedt up. He might not play all that much. I don't know. We'll see. Alright, so we are playing the Devils. We have seen them already, and we won. It was, I believe, our first win of the season. And now we are playing at home. Let's hope for a win. So they're sending Martin Brodeur in net. We're sending Ron Extall. We lost 4-1. So the better team won, even though I hate to admit it. Oh, they had a lot of injuries too. Yeah, they outshot us 35-18, so Jacques Lemaire's trap, well, no, it's probably not Jacques Lemaire, the coach, but New Jersey's trap has been effective. So 35-18 the shots. Bill Guérin was the first star with 2 goals and an assist. Scott Niedermayer, second star with 2 assists. And Mark Jansen's third star with an assist. So Yashin scored our lone goal from Kelly Johansson and Alexander Degg. So Degg is pulling an okay season so far. Jeff Courtnall keeps fans on their feet all night. With a hat-trick, 3 goals. 5-0 win over Dallas. Alright, so we have 4 games left in November. And the next game is at home against the Hartford Whalers, who are not going to be the Hartford Whalers for much longer. Alright, so Mario Lemieux got hurt again, so he had a fractured jaw and he missed like 6 weeks or something. No, he's gonna miss 4 days. Abdominal soreness. Another player with abdominal soreness. Again, I hope for you it's not a heart attack. A strong night from Mark Rickey. A goal and 4 assists. Yeah, that's pretty good. 5 points. Especially where the further we get into the 90s and the lower the scoring gets. Or at least it should. Rick Tocchet has 300 goals in his career. He scored a goal and got an assist against Hartford. Oh, so Hartford played the night before. Maybe they're going to be tired. Alright, so we have not played the Whalers so far this year. I remember last season Andrew Castles had a pretty nice stretch of games for a while. So Hartford is 6-9-4. They're right ahead of us in the standings. They have only 1 more point than us, so it's an important game. We need to win this. Of course, they have Sean Burke in it. He's pretty good. Fred Brathwaite, Chris Pronger. I don't think Chris Pronger needs an introduction, especially for Sens fans. Alright, Brian Marchment, Darren Rumble, Bert Dahlquist. They have quite a few ex-Sens on their team. They have Darren Rumble, they have Pavel Dimitra, they have Igor Larionov, and they have Scott Walker that all used to play for me. Alright. Yeah, their defense is really not all that great. At forward and in net, they're pretty okay, but that D after Chris Pronger is really not all that great. So let's see if we can beat them. Alright, so we're sending Guillemard in net. They're sending Fred Brathwaite, who played only 1 game. Wow. Oh, looks like we played them in preseason and trounced them 8-1. I forgot about that. And we lost 5-1 when it counts. Oh boy. We needed that game pretty bad. Yeah, Guillemard has not been good so far this season. Whew. Alright, so shots were even 23 to 23 and they scored 5. That's horrible. I might need to send Guilbeault down and bring up Damian Rhodes. So Chris Pronger was the first star with 2 assists. Murray Craven was the second star with a goal and an assist. And Andrew Castles was the third star with a goal. Our lone goal scorer was Norm McIver from Robert Zvela and Vili Peltonen. That's a game to forget. Next game is against Washington, another important game. So it's pretty tight in the East, where we've already dropped to 12th with just a couple losses. So. Oh, so Buffalo is reinstating the Team Kangaroo Court. So Marty McSorley is going to catch a young guy later. Let's try forget that Buffalo got Marty McSorley. Alright, so we are playing in Washington. Another important game. They are ahead of us in the standings. Only 2 points, and they played 2 more games. So we need to beat them. Alright, so Kolzig in net. That's a good goaltender. Nothing to say here. Dwayne Roloson. Alright. Oof. That D is... yeah, past Hatcher and Gunshard, that D is a little shaky. Alright, Chisel, let's get your study Krieger. Alright, well, we need a win, so let's do this. Alright, they're sending Olaf Kolzing in net, we're sending Ron Extall, and we absolutely need a win. Oof. That one hurts, because we didn't only lose, we got rocked 7-3 against a team we could beat, so that one really hurts. It wasn't even a tight affair or anything like that. So we lost 7-3. Oh my god. We completely outshot them 51-22. So we allowed 7 goals on 22 shots. My goaltending has abandoned this team. And historically, the Sens took forever to get good goaltending. I mean, we got Barrasso for a very short time, and we had Patrick Lalime, who was good. He's always going to be remembered as the guy that was allowing those ugly goals in the playoffs, but historically he's been pretty good for us. Then we had Ashik that 1 year that he hurt himself in the Olympics. And then, we had Craig Anderson. So, yeah. I might need to address that somehow, because 7 goals on 22 shots is not going to cut it. Alright, so Jason Allison, a goal and 2 assists was the first star. Peter Bandova, second star with 2 goals and an assist. And Pat Peak, third star with a goal and 2 assists. So Robert Zvela scored his first goal of the season from Zardy Zalewski and Mike Sillinger. Todd Warner from Andreas Dackel and Norm McIver on the power play from Zardy Zalewski and Alexander Daigle. Alright, there was no stopping Gerard Scaldi, who had a hat-trick 3 goals against the Stars. Randy Burridge in Anaheim is suspended. He's going to miss 6 games. A night to remember for Jeremy Roenick, who had a hat-trick 3 goals against the Sharks. Doug Bodger and Petr Svoboda pitch in at local homeless shelter. So, a couple Sabres defensemen become better people right before we face them. Scott Thornton's getting close to come back. Alright, what do we have here? Alright, we're facing Buffalo, so yeah, we've dug ourselves into a hole. We're 6 points behind, although we have 4 games on the Flyers. But that's gonna be tough to climb back. We were at 8 and we just couldn't get a few wins. Alright, so we are playing the Buffalo Sabres. We have not played them this year, so let's go ahead and take a look here. Who do they have? Of course, they have Ashik in net, so we already know he's really good. Yeah, they have a pretty good team. And I apologize if you're hearing that noise in the background, if my microphone is picking that up. My neighbor has the same neighbor that was fixing his fence yesterday. He has a very old pickup truck that sounds like it's dying. So that's the noise you're possibly hearing right now. If not, well, disregard that comment. Alright, so they have a pretty good team. Delaware Chuck, Pat LaFontaine. They're getting older, though. Those two. They still have a pretty good team. McGillney, Connor Walchuk. I mean, yeah. That's a pretty good team. Not a lot of weaknesses. Alright, well, we're playing on the road too. Ron Extall isn't. Yeah, you better have a snowflake there after allowing 5 million goals on 3 shots. And we won 41, so look at that. So, good team on paper, and we have beat them. Their record is not that great with that loss. They're now 11, 11, and 2. So. Alright, they completely outshot us 43-24. First star of the game was Robert Zvela with a goal and an assist. Ron Extall was the second star with a 42 save performance. And Andreas Dackel with a goal and an assist was the third star. So Ron Extall kind of redeemed himself with a really good performance after a completely horrible one. So Robert Zvela scored from Alexei Yashin and Mike Seninger. Andreas Dackel from Brian McCabe and Per Juice. So a couple of first assists for those two defensemen. Yashin on the power play from Deg and Zvela, and Jimmy Baker in an empty net from Andreas Dackel. So I am not seeing a lot of Daniel Alfredson in there. That worries me a little bit because I really need for him to pick it up. That would be great. So good night for Mikael Anderson in Tampa Bay. He had 4 assists on a 5-2 win against that. Looks like everybody's beating on Dallas. Are they horrible or something? 10, 13, and 1. I mean, that's not great, but it's not like cave dwelling bad. Alright, Scott Thornton is really close to be back. Alright, it's the last game of the month. We are playing the Philadelphia Flyers, which is the team we're trying to catch in the 8th spot. So again, it's an important game. They are 4 points ahead of us. Oh my god, they have like 7 ties. That's crazy. Alright. So we have not played them. Let's take a look at their roster. Oh god, they have horrible goaltending. You don't want Guilbert for, I don't know, Lindros maybe? I'd settle for Prospol or Brennamore or Marcus Naslund. How do you have Marcus Naslund? Man, they are a lot better than their record shows. There's a lot of talent on that team. Just not in net. That's probably what's costing them games is, you know, Jason Curry and Brian Boucher in net. Alright, so we're playing at home. We did play yesterday. Let's see what we can do. So they're sending Jason Curry in net. We're sending Guillemard. Oh boy. Maybe I'm trying to show him to them. Well, not gonna work if he gets shelled again. Ooh, we won 7-1. We're the ones that scored a lot of goals. So look at that. And Guillemard got 44 shots too. So now that he's impressed the Flyers are gonna come and inquire about him and offer me the moon for him. I wish. All right, so they outshot us 44-41. So it was a pretty offensive game. So Loney Loach with another hat trick, so 3 goals and an assist. So thank God this guy is on the team. So in reality, he didn't play much in the NHL, if at all. I remember I looked him up. Really didn't have much of a career. Guillemard, 43 save performance, and Yashin, 3 assists for the 3rd star. So those were the 3 stars. Pretty good. Loney Loach on the power play from Alexei Yashin. Todd Warner from Per Juice and Jamie Baker. Loney Loach on the power play again from Alexei Yashin and Norm McIver. Andreas Dackel from Kalle Johansson. Loney Loach from Mike Sillinger. And Alexander Degg with a couple goals, 1 on the power play. Again, Alfredsson is nowhere to be seen. We scored 7 goals and he didn't get a point. That kind of worries me a little bit. A night to remember for Loney Loach. 3 goals and an assist. Yes, sir. Alright, so we are going to move forward to December 1st, and that's going to be our stopping point, as usual. I always do a month per episode. That's long enough. Alright. So, Jeremy Roenick has tallied 300 goals in his career, and he's 26 years old. Chris Gratton in Tampa is suspended. He's going to miss 2 games. Scott Thornton is on the edge of returning. Alright, Alfredsson's getting better. He's getting points, so it's going to come eventually. Degg is getting worse. I don't like that. So it looks like Degg is following his real life career path. Alright. And Steve Yzerman and Tom Barrasso are the players of the month. Oh god, look at that record for Detroit, 23-2. And one of those losses is against us. Alright, so that's where we're at. So if we look here, we moved up to 10th. So now we're just 3 points behind a playoff spot. So it's doable. We're going to need a few more really good months. We kind of, put ourselves out there where we might be able to make the playoffs. It's not going to be easy, though. The standings are really, 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 really tight. So we're going to have to continue to win some games. Alright, so let's take a look at our stats here. We already know that Alfredsson is not really pulling his weight. Yashin is almost a point per game, so as usual we can count on Yashin. He has 21 points in 23 games, so that's pretty decent. Loney Loach has 18 points in 21 games. Of course, those 2 hat-trick games really help boost his point total. Degg has 16 points in 22 games. That's also pretty good. But as we saw in the last development report, he's starting to lose ability. So then it starts to go down from there. Kalle Johansson, Zalapski, Dackel all have 13 points, and then it kind of trickles down. Roman Amerlik is not having a great season. Neither is Jamie Baker. So those were put on the trade block prior to starting this video. I didn't get any offers. Who knows? I might take them off, leave them there. I'm not sure yet. So we're kind of in a position where we need some wins. I'm not sure how to inject some talent, and I have a couple underperforming players like Alfredson, Amerlik, even Norm McIver is not having that great of a season. So if those guys could turn it around a little bit and start pulling their weight, I think we might be able to pull some wins together. So we did win 7 games this month, so that's pretty good. We're gonna need to continue like that if we want to be in the playoffs. So if we look at the best scorer, so Steve Yzerman is the best goal scorer in the league. That's pretty good. Jagger has 27 assists. He's the best passer, and the best scorer is Steve Yzerman. So there's been a little bit of a drop off here for the Kings players. So after the first month, it was 3 Kings players for 1, 2, and 3. So now Steve Yzerman has passed them all. So did Teemu Selanne in Phoenix. Alright, so as usual, I don't really have anybody showing up in there. We're just not there yet with our players. Yeah, I mean, we have Lonnie Loach, who has 6 power play goals, so that's something, I suppose. But other than that, none of our players are showing there. I'm too scared to look at the goalie leaders. Our goaltending has not been very good, so I'm not going to go ahead and look at that today. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. And of course, next time that I do a video, we're going to do December. Just looking at it, looks like it's going to be another kind of tough month. A lot of really good teams on the horizon, starting with the first game in December, which is going to be against Pittsburgh. So we can expect to have another tough month ahead of us. So, well, that's pretty much it for me today. So, as usual, thank you for tuning in, and if you've liked the video, feel free to like and subscribe. That's always appreciated, and until I roll this game again, see you guys next time. Thank you.